Number 5, my fifth favorite Criterion release individual film. And this is a work from 1972. And it's right here. Pink Flamingos. Oh gosh, Pink Flamingos. This is a work that is just, once you see it, you can never unsee it. And if you're gonna see it and never be able to unsee it, you might as well be able to see it and not unsee it by watching and not being able to unwatch the film through this Criterion release. This is such a, in many ways, a groundbreaking work. It is John Waters self-acknowledging this idea of art and filth and trash and effectiveness. And my goodness, does it have an effect? It has an effect indeed. And it is so funny. It's so funny. It's so filled with humor. It's so filled with a sense of taste and bad taste and art combining in this oh so grand way, which is Pink Flamingos. Oh gosh, what a film this is. Number 4, my fourth favorite film from the Criterion Collection releases of 2022. And it's this film. It's the film which is from 1980. Raging Bull. Raging Bull is one of those landmark moments, and everything seems to be coming together. The artistry, the style, the action, the drama, the human drama, frailty and strength. Strengths and weaknesses are on display with such bravura, with such force, and such honesty, and such force of will. And the force of will is so overwhelming sometimes as to be almost threatening. But never does Scorsese's camera turn away from that sense of threat. It's on display, and it's given to us as well, warts and all, for us to evaluate and for us to consider on an intellectual level and also on an emotional level. What a film this is. This is a classic, given a great treatment by Criterion this year, and it is this film, which is Raging Bull. To the final 3. So my third favorite film from the Criterion Collection's selections from this year, 2022. This is a work from 1997. I cannot get enough of this film. I think this is one of the great films, great films from the 90s. It is one of the great Japanese works of the modern age, I think. It is so scary, so chilling, so memorable indeed. And it's this film, Cure. Oh my goodness. This is such a scary detective thriller. It has that serial killer vibe to it. There are some very intense scenes, very violent scenes as well. So it's not for everyone, but those are done with great sense of style and a great sense of panache, cinematic flourishes, as well as grounded in a sense of quote-unquote realism on the one hand and a sense of fantasy on the other. And there's a blurring of the lines. We're not quite sure where we are at some points of the film. That's the brilliance of this great work of art, which is Cure, my third favorite film from the Criterion Collection selections from 2022. My goodness, this was my second favorite film from the Criterion Collections selections from 2022. This was when I saw this again, I was just so overwhelmed. The Criterion Collection release itself, I think, had a lot to do with it, of course, but it was also the film. The film's power itself had so much, and that was the motivation, the purpose, the force of this, and the humanity of this, and the warmth, as well as the warmth and the charm, and the wit and style and life, and the complexities of life that are expressed in this work, which is from 1992. I'm speaking of this. Malcolm X. What a grand release this is from Criterion. This is such a brilliant release of a brilliant film. I've spoken about this during the video discussion, and it was a very emotional experience to watch it again It is always an emotional experience. It is always one that is going through a life and the many cycles and chapters of a life and changes of a life, and a life that had an impact on so many, on a nation, on the world, as well as on a family and on himself as an individual. Malcolm X, what a film this is. This brings me now to my number one favorite film from the Criterion Collection selections from 2022. And so this is a film that has been with me since its initial release. I had the great honor of being able to see it in the theater one day back in the late 90s. And dare I say it, my life changed. And it's been with me ever since. This film has been with me ever since. The Criterion release is brilliant. And it's the part of the reason why it's brilliant is because the film itself is brilliant. Speaking of the film from 1997, from David Lynch. We've met before, haven't we? Yes, so this is indeed Lost Highway. I think that this film is one of the great treasures. This is one of the great treasures of the David Lynch treasure chest. This is one of the great treasures of American cinema treasure chest. Indeed, this is one of the great treasures of cinema. Yes, this is one of the great treasures of cinema. It's intense. It is wild. It is unforgettable. It's unnerving. It takes us in places that I'm not sure we will never be able to return. It's certainly not for everyone, that's for sure. But for those for whom this film fits, my goodness, it fits. It really does fit. It fits in a very comfortable and yet uncomfortable and uneasy way. And that's what's so great about this. I love this film so much. This is my favorite film from the Criterion releases this year. And for, I think, excellent reason, because it is so powerful and so unforgettable. This is David Lynch's work, which is Lost Highway.